Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast, the only podcast for NFL punters. I'm your new host, Grant Lee. I'm very excited to be joining the Little Birdie team, bringing all my views and tips on the NFL. Third and Long podcast is brought to you by topsport.com.au, Punting Form, Little Birdie TV, and the home of the Comics Lounge, the home of stand-up comedy. Normally, Nick Tedeschi would be joining us, but he's got some family commitments. So we have off the bench our specialist, our superstar, our gun, Mark Goodwill. How are you, mate? Good morning.
How are you? I tried to get off the show after last year. We brought you in as the number one recruit to host the show. And, unfortunately for Toprope, as he's affectionately known, he's had a bit of a family issue, so it's stopped him doing today's show. So he's quickly called me to get off the bench and provide his tips to the punters. So I will be speaking on behalf of Toprope punters.
Beautiful.
So the punters shouldn't fear. They're getting the good oil. And, as we talk later, you can buy his package to the house and get all his information. But I will be relaying for him today, and then you will see his friendly face next week's show.
Wonderful. I actually look forward to working with Toprope next week, which I can't wait. But also, too, live from Miami, we have our superstar tipster, Jerry Jones. How are you, mate? How was your preseason?
I'm doing great. I don't know how I can top Mark's intro. He was the greatest of all time of everything. So I'm doing good, just hanging out, trying to have some fun and pick some winners.
Now, Jerry, I have to ask you, I have to address the elephant in the room. You haven't complimented or said anything about my T-shirt. Does it bring out my eyes?
It kind of just speaks for itself, doesn't it? I mean, it's Cowboys all over the place. You can't miss it.
Yeah, no, we're going to be from top to bottom, I dare say. But anyway, let's hop straight into it. Boys, Deshaun in a little bit of trouble?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in a little bit of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. They originally announced the penalty, and the way the Browns structured his contract, they knew what was coming. He basically took a little slap on the wrist. They announced it, and then there was a huge uproar, huge backlash. They had to go back to the drawing table. I mean, he didn't miss his year, and I guess that was his goal. But they started really short. They extended it, and now we got Jacoby Brissett for the Cleveland Browns for more than half the season. I think he's in trouble. I think they're in trouble, but we'll see what happens. Maybe, if they can go 6-5, 5-6, 500 around there, maybe he turns it on. But he looked pretty rusty in some of those preseason games.
Oh, yes, he did. And it'll be interesting, too, that when he does come back, he'll be playing against his old team, the Texans. But a snapshot, 11-game suspension, $5 million in fines, has to do ongoing counselling until he's reinstated by the league. These are some things that, are bigger than football, and he still pleads that he never assaulted anyone. And Susan Robin, who ruled on Watson's case, said that his behaviour was in fact predatory. So from my knowledge of being a Year 12 student at Bentley High, I wasn't sure of what predatory behaviour was. So I did Google, and Jerry, it was a photo of me outside of Krispy Kreme. So now I am I'm up to date with what that actually meant. So, but anyway,
fair enough.
Does that put a line through Cleveland's year, Jerry?
It probably does. Like I said, if they can somehow squeak out 500, it's a whole new ball game in the playoffs. But I just don't see it. I think that they're preparing for next year. Let's just put it that way.
So, Jerry, I just wanted to ask you, so the Rams won the Super Bowl last year. I would love to remember the actual game, but I was at Little Birdie's Super Bowl party, and I paid for it for about a week or two later, but all good. Do you think they can do it again?
There's no reason that they can't do it again, but I would not put my money on them. Repeat champions are very rare in the NFL. They do have their whole core back, and they did add Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, who should be pretty good, open it up a little bit more for Stafford. But, it's just so hard to repeat. Everyone's gunning for you. And let's just put it this way. I know we're going to get into it, but week one, they're at home and they're an underdog. Yeah, they're playing the Bills. I get it. but the defending Super Bowl champs are a home underdog. That just shows you how tough it is to repeat in the NFL.
Yes. And in saying that, the last team that did repeat in the NFL was the New England Patriots in 2000 and 2003. So it is very hard. And in the history of teams going back-to-back, there's only been 8 in the new Super Bowl era. So I'm with you. I think they will struggle to win their division. But I also think they will beat the Bills this week. So player moves, boys. It's been a big off season. There's been a lot that have moved around. None bigger than Russell Wilson finally getting out of Seattle, got his payday, $245 million. MG, what do you call a week without rain in Seattle?
I'm not sure.
Summer. It rains all the time. All the time, mate. So are you a bit excited for Russell being in Denver, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, look, he had to get out of Seattle. Pete Carroll, I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 80, but it's just the game has passed him by. He's stubborn. He plays like 7 different running backs. He keeps drafting one each and every year. Russell had huge talent on the outside with Lockett and DK Metcalf, but they didn't utilize his skill sets. I mean, Denver looks like they don't have the top tier receivers like they did, but they have the offensive line, they have the running game, and they have depth at wide receiver. So I think he'll be able to throw it all over a lot. And I do like the spot. It's kind of reminiscent of when Peyton Manning came over, although not as old, came in with a good defense, a good offensive line, and he won his Super Bowl over there. So let's see if Russell Wilson could do the same thing.
Yes. I'm looking forward to a big year from Russell and hearing him say, let's ride more than 10,000 times. So Tyreek Hill left Kansas City to go to Miami. For some people, if they don't know, Tyreek's nickname is the Cheetah, so he will fit in well in Miami. What's your thoughts on that, Jerry?
Yeah, so that's my my adopted home team. I'm down here in Miami. If I do go to a game, it will be a Dolphins game. I don't become a homer when it comes to my money. I root for them, but I will never just bet on them because I'm going to the game or because they're the Dolphins. I'm afraid Hill is a ridiculous talent. They call him the Cheetah for a reason. He can get wide open and get past anyone. You can even see it in the preseason. I'm not sure Tua has the arm strength, though. I'm still kicking myself that we do not have Justin Herbert. We screwed that draft up by picking Tua first. But I don't know. I think he'll fit in well as long as Tua doesn't underthrow him 3 or 4 times a game. They'll surprise. I think they can make the playoffs. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but he will help. And Jalen Waddle going into his second year, those 2 guys opposite each other is going to be real fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it will be exciting. I must say my favorite player movement for the year was Matty Ryan finally leaving Atlanta, going down to the Colts. I still don't think he's let it go, Jerry, that, they were 28-3 up on the Patriots in that Super Bowl. So a clean slate for him. And I think that the Colts could be one of the roughies of the year this year. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. You weren't around last year, but the Colts were my sleeper last year, and they went to sleep because of Carson Wentz. But they had a great running game, great defense. I thought Carson Wentz was an upgrade from Phillip Rivers because Rivers couldn't get the ball down the field. And now I'm going from Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan. I feel that's an upgrade again. So I believe they could do some damage in the playoffs. Like I said, they were my sleeper last year. I think they can do well. Matt Ryan, at the 37, 38 or whatever he is, he's still an upgrade. So with Jonathan Taylor running the ball and a great defense and a great offensive line, he doesn't have to do much. They can, last year they beat the Patriots on a Thursday night game, I believe it was, and everybody was going wild. I had them to win the Super Bowl, and then Wentz gets COVID. They play the Raiders on like a Thursday night. They lost to the Raiders. And then the unthinkable of the unthinkable, and they lose to Jacksonville on the last game of the season with the playoffs on the line. That is unfathomable.
Well, I think that's the reason why he was booted out of Atlanta and sent to the powerhouse of the Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Raiders. I think it's his last chance. Not really much more to say with that. Hopefully he has a good season. But just quickly, I just wanted to ask MG, Tom Brady retired. You're sitting there with your Buccaneers hat and your Tom Brady jersey from the Patriots.
Bet each way.
Do you have a tip on why he returned, why he came back?
He misses the game. You're a long time retired. As you know, you're still playing the game, aren't you? 20 years plus of playing the game. Why would you retire? He makes the playoffs. He's in a good team. He's fit. He's healthy. We may as well go around. What's he going to do if he retires? He's not a fisherman.
Well, he's got a supermodel wife. He's got children. So that's probably the reason why he did come back, because I know in the off season I get to spend time with my 3 kids and my lovely wife. But thank God football's back now, and I'm a lot more happier. So
I love it. One more year you'll do.
I think so. I find it hard to think that they will return to the Super Bowl. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll win it. I think Brady will have a very tough year with that offensive line that has basically crumbled. But they do start the year with the Cowboys, and that's always a given, isn't it? All right, so boys, let's jump straight into it. Our futures chat. Let's have a look at the top of the list. We've got Buffalo Bills at $6.50. They are the flavor of the month. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at $8.75. I'd love to know what they are not to make the playoffs, but let's not go there. Kansas City Chiefs, who I like, at $9.50. Green Bay Packers at $11. LA Rams at $12. Los Angeles Chargers at $15. San Francisco 49ers at $17. Baltimore Ravens at $19. And so heading down, we've got a lot more. Cowboys at $22. I could offer you 1,001 on that one, but let's not go there. My sleeper definitely is the Minnesota Vikings at 31. Jerry, who do you like?
So there's 2 questions here. Who do I like and who's the value on? You didn't even get to my team, which is, pretty crazy. But I'm going to go with the dark horse because it's the only way to make money in this league. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. We didn't quite get up to their spot. I have them at 31-1. So I guess in your odds over there, that's 32.0. I just believe that if you're going to do this, you got to go in the NFC. That's number one. The AFC is loaded. I mean, the AFC West alone with the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Then you got the Bills. You're loaded up there. So it's hard to narrow down. I think the Saints, who have Tampa Bay's number, they seem to play well against Brady. They have a ferocious defensive line. Now we're adding back Winston, who had the injury. You got Chris Olave, the rookie wide receiver. You got Michael Thomas, wide receiver. You're adding a lot of weapons. And although they had a coaching change, Dennis Allen was in the system last year. So my dark horse would be the value play, Saints at 31-1. But if you're asking who I think is going to win, it's hard to get past the favorite. Like the Bills seem like the cream of the crop. They seem like they blew that game against KC last year. They looked loaded. Offense unstoppable. Defense, although I think they were a little fraudulent, they were ranked number 1. So I think the Bills will win it, but my money is not on them. And I hope that makes sense to the people of the audience. There's one thing where you think is going to happen, and then there's no value on it. So there's no reason for me to try to lock up money for 4 months to try to get 6-1. I'm trying to make the big score. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints at 31-1.
Well, I've just jumped on my topsport.com.au account, and I've put a little flutter on there. So thank you for that, Jerry. But can I ask you one thing, Jerry, when it comes to value? I really like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they're the only team in the NFL that could repeat what the Cincinnati Bengals did last year from bottom to top. What's your take on the Jags?
Again, I'm not saying they can't do it. I don't see it again, but who saw Cincinnati last year? So you could be onto something. New coach, quarterback who was the known overall number 1 pick for like 5 years. Like coming out of high school, they knew he was going to be number 1. He had a terrible year last year, the Urban Meyer disaster. They can surprise. The problem is, again, we'll get back to my opening, and I'm glancing down at these odds here as I talk. I'm just trying to see what's on my phone. But what do you got? About 150-1, 155-1. it's worth taking a flyer. But again, like you said, value, this is not something you're expecting to win. You'd be super happy if you woke up where they slid into the playoffs and maybe won one game and then maybe try to hedge from there. But, I can't fault anyone for taking anything at 155 to 1.
There's always been one team that has gone from the bottom of the division to the top in the last 17 years out of 19. So hopefully my money is on the Jags. Not a lot, MG.
You don't have to have much on at those prices, though.
I tell you, mate, a couple of bucks. Yeah. It's a cup of coffee. So
well, Jerry didn't say no, so that's he didn't laugh at you, so that's a good start.
So MG, who have you got as the good teams this year?
Well, I'm going to tip. Jerry obviously gave his value pick as the Saints, and then he said who does he think is going to win was the Bills. And to state the obvious, Top Ropes can't get away from the Buffalo Bills either.
Yep.
At $6.50, they are favourites, and I'm not sure what the actual record of favourites preseason to actually winning the Super Bowl are. But yeah, Top Rope very confident on the Bills. Just can't get away with them. With the obviously loaded both sides of the ball. Got a dominant quarterback, home ground advantage, unbelievable. So he's tipping that. But my personal value pick, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I think they were $19 on the list. Again, just dominated their preseason. I think they've got an extraordinary record. Jerry will probably correct me, but I think it's 22 straight or 23 straight preseason game wins now. I just think Baltimore had some injuries and everything last year, maybe some excuses. They always seem to be in close games, which kind of swings their season around. But yeah, value pick just looking at it, getting away from some of the obvious teams. Baltimore at $19 for me.
Yes, I like Baltimore as well. So let's. I've got something I want to put past you, Jerry, and with your knowledge of betting and punting and all that sort of stuff. When I look at the teams that are good from last year that will not make the playoffs this year, two teams stick out to me, and I want to get your take on this. And am I correct? I have the Dallas Cowboys missing the playoffs. At topsport.com.au, they are at $3.15 for that. And I also have, and Tampa Bay fans will hate me, but I also have Tampa Bay Buccaneers missing the playoffs, and they're at 5 to 1.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'll go the second one first. I agree with you on the Tampa. My open was with how the Saints dominate them and dominate that line. It seems like all five guys from the offensive line are gone. They got guys injured or retired. Brady, again, the greatest ever, another year older, took 2 weeks off in the preseason. I mean, he doesn't need it mentally, but physically at some point, Father Time always wins, and this could be the year. I could definitely see Tampa Bay not making the playoffs. Dallas is a whole nother story because their division is so weak. They're the cream of the crop in that NFC East. I think they'll get there. I think the Eagles are up and coming. I think the Skins are, whoever they are, the Redskins, the Washington football team,
Commanders,
whatever they're called. They're just who they usually are. They'll be 500 or worse, and the Giants are terrible. So I just, would it surprise me? No. But who in that division is going to go ahead and beat them twice and just make sure that they're buried and don't make it? I mean, Mike McCarthy's a terrible coach, so I can see that. But I just think they have too much talent, and I think they have an easy road. That's the only thing blocking there. So I'll agree with one, and I won't agree with the other.
Well, as a Cowboy fan, that makes me feel a little bit special. Thank you, Jerry. When it comes to division winners and value, have you got some tips out there for the punters that they can make a little bit of money to prepare for the little birdie Super Bowl party?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I told you the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl, so take about 3 to 1 on them. I think Tampa's a huge favorite. Again, I apologize. I'm looking at my phone to get the current odds. Tampa's a huge favorite at like minus 215. Again, you guys use the decimal system, so I'm trying to, I don't know what that is,
3.15, yep.
5 or what it is. Saints 3 to 1 to win that division. I would take a long shot. I just said the Cowboys, I can't see past anyone. The Giants at 10 to 1 to win a 4-team division. Why not take a flyer there? 10 to 1 to win a 4-team division. I mean, I just don't understand how that's not a possibility. And the last one we'll go with, and this is the only reason I'm doing this, is because it's the toughest division in all of football. and they're the longest price. The Las Vegas Raiders at plus 554, so I guess 6.54. I think only because it's the toughest division. I see anything happening there. They're the longest shot on the board. Again, these are 4-team divisions. If I'm taking 5-1 and 10-1, I'm going to take my chances.
Now that Toprope is not in the studio, MG, take it away. Who does Toprope like?
Yeah, Toprope's real keen on chances for the conference. He likes both Ravens at $10 and the Colts at $12 to win the AFC. Yep. So he wanted to mention that. And also for the division winner, his standout one, actually big odds here, is Carolina at $11 for the NFC South. Wow. Again, he's obviously taking a pot against Tampa Bay that I think are $1.34 at the moment. So there's some value around that division. And yeah, so
we both went in that division. That's pretty funny. We both went in there fading Tampa.
Yeah, so the easy money might be to just delay Tampa Bay for that NFC South.
So I like the Steelers at 10-1 for their division. I have Miami at $5.20 and the Jags, of course. So, but all your odds are on topsport.com.au. There was a couple of future bets that I did see, MG and Jerry, that I did like. Now tell me, Jerry, am I crazy in thinking that the Jags, Chargers, Ravens, San Fran will all make the playoffs at 21-1?
Again, I don't think you're crazy, but I think you got to get a better price than that. Just the fact of having Jacksonville in there should have made that price a lot bigger of a payout. I don't see a problem with your other 4 teams. I see them all making it. But just the fact that you're throwing Jacksonville in there, I'd got to get closer to like 30-1 on that.
So let's take a short break and we'll be back with To the House. Hello guys and welcome back. Time for To the House, brought to you by topsport.com.au, family owned and operated for 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. So what we've all been waiting for, the first match of the 2022 season. Buffalo at the LA Rams, Friday, 10:20 a.m., live on ESPN. The Buffalo are minus 2.5 and the total is 52 points. Jerry, what do you like?
All right, we touched on this earlier about the Rams. You asked me if they could repeat, and I said they're an underdog at home on opening night. So it tells you how hard it is to repeat, and a great matchup we have here. I'm going to have to stay away from the side. I do like a lot of points to be scored. I think, like I touched on earlier, the addition of Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, Matt Stafford coming in, second year in that system, and Josh Allen. They throw the ball all over the place. I like over 52.5. I'll stay away from the side. It's going to be a great game, but look for a lot of points to be scored and let the NFL get off to a great start.
Wonderful. MG?
Yeah, Toprope's real keen on the plus here. The Rams also plus 2.5. He 4-unit play there, so he's really keen on the Rams plus 2.5. Defending Super Bowl champs. He's also a lean on the over total with Jerry there, so that looks like a solid play over the 52.5. So yeah, he's real keen on that. The Super Bowl champs are 14-7-1 against the spread for week 1, so it's a good little stat there for how they back up. As Jerry said, they're at home, and as a dog, it's a good spot for them.
No, I fully agree. So let's head into match 2. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, Monday, 3 a.m., bright and early, live on ESPN. Cincinnati are minus 6.5 at the line and a total of 44.5. Jerry, who do we like for this one?
All right, we got the defending AFC champions. I think they beat Pittsburgh the last 3 in a row, and those were with Ben Roethlisberger and whoever else is out there. Mitch Trubisky, honestly, I think he'll be an upgrade. I think he'll be an upgrade over Big Ben because he's not a statue back there. He can move around. He's not that accurate. But again, I would like to go over the 44.5 since he's got an unstoppable offense. And Pittsburgh, I think, with Mitch Trubisky, with a little bit of mobility and not a statue back there, I think they can put. If Pittsburgh gets to 21 points, you could forget it. This game's going well over. So I think if I can get Pittsburgh to break 20, we're going to go over. So 2 for 2 on the overs, but that won't be standard for me on the season or on the day. That's just the first 2. And I just think we're going to get off to a bang with some points.
MG, Toprope?
Yeah, Top Rope's he's pretty keen on Pittsburgh plus 6.5 points here. They are playing away, but real keen on the line there. He's going to go against Jerry here on the total. So first time a bit of friction on third and long here. He's semi keen on the under. Not a real strong play, but under 44.5. Two key stats that are going to play out, I guess, through a lot of these week one games. So I won't repeat it, but basically the division dogs for week one run at 58 and 36 against the spread, and also the dogs who are more than 6.5 point dogs for week one are running at 43 and 27. So it runs through a lot of the TV games that we're going to describe for Top Rope. So that's the reason why he is on the plus, but also the under here.
So Cincinnati have filled up a lot of holes that they had from last year. So it'll be interesting to see if they can return to the Super Bowl. So let's head into the third match of our 8-match schedule here in Australia. Game 3, Indianapolis Colts versus Houston Texans, Monday 3 a.m. on ESPN. Indianapolis is minus 8 points, and the total is 46. Jerry, I got to tell you, I'm liking the line on this one.
Well, I mean, I hope you're liking it the same way I'm liking it. It's just too many points. I mean, I know we touched on Matt Ryan coming to the Colts, but they are a run first, defense first team. I think 8 points is too many in the NFL, especially in week one. A lot of starters didn't get too many snaps in the preseason. They cut it down to 3 games. Then they had a week off in between. I just think it's too many points. I mean, if this game was being played 4 weeks from now, I might feel a little different. But give me the home dog Texans of more than a touchdown, and I'll gladly take that.
All right, let's channel our dear friend Top Rope.
Yeah, he's on the Jerry bus here. It's good. I like it when they're both on the same page here. Top Rope's pretty keen here. Houston plus the 8 here as the home dog, and he's also got a bit of a lean to the under 46 total as well. So the same stats that I just read out for game 2 also follows through for game 3. The other interesting stat Top Rope sent through to me is Indianapolis are only 1-12-1 against the spread in week 1. In the last 14 games, only covered 1. So the under here is 18-6 head-to-head, these two teams, with 6-0 the unders head-to-head in the latest history. So that's how he's come up with the plus, agreed with Jerry. So that should be an easy bet for the punters and also under total.
And the Colts are the biggest favourite of the week when it comes to the line betting as well. So here's one that will come to your heart, MG. New England at Miami, Monday, 3 a.m., 7 mate. The line is minus 3.5 to the Dolphins, and the total is 46 points. Jerry, how are the boys feeling for week 1 down there in Miami?
See, it's crazy. As you said numerous times, I'm down here in Miami. It's like 93 degrees with 100% humidity every day, and I don't see that changing for Sunday. I saw something where Bill Belichick, I think he brought his team down on like Tuesday. Usually they come down on like a Friday, but he wants them here the whole week practicing in the heat. It's weird because I'm usually Miami in this spot, but I'm always taking points. New England is always favored. They always come into Miami, and they always lose. And sometimes double digits, sometimes a touchdown. I think Miami's probably won 4 in a row. Miami even beat that Brady-Randy Moss team one time, not the perfect season, obviously, but one time either the year before the year after they came to Miami and lost as like a 17-point favorite. So Miami always plays them well. But they're in a different role. They're in the favorite role, but I'm still going to lay Miami minus 3.5. It's just something that the Patriots have a tough time overcoming.
So, MG, how is Top Rope feeling on this game?
Yeah, he agrees with Jerry here at the plus 3.5. Again, unusual spot for New England in terms of the fact that they are the outsiders. They normally are favourite, but as Jerry also alluded to, they don't have a great record in Miami either, whether that's all contributed to the heat or just the travel factor. But all the stats actually line up on the Miami side for this game, which Top Rope normally follows. 6-2 against the spread week 1, and the home team between these two teams is 16-5. So it's a very dominant home team record as well. But as I said, it's normally Miami getting the points in this situation, whereas this time they're the favourite. So yeah, Top Rope agrees with Jerry. Plus 3.5 at the line. No play on the total.
I think it's going to be interesting too. The Patriots are leading the way with their offensive coach as their biggest defensive coach for several years. So we'll see what happens there. So, all right, boys, let's head into it. Match 5, the Los Angeles Raiders at the LA Chargers, Monday, 6:25 a.m. on 7 Mate. The LA Chargers are a -3.5, and the over is 52.5. Set at 6:25 a.m. I'll be getting ready to order in my Uber Eats and my McDonald's to have a hash brown. What's your take on this one, Jerry?
So, if you guys remember, this was like one of these epic games last year where the last week of the season on Sunday night, teams needed a tie where both of them were going to make the playoffs. And it just seemed like a tie was inevitable. And then Chargers decided to call some timeouts. The Raiders were just content to just tie that game. Chargers called some timeouts, made the Raiders go for it, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. They went to the playoffs, and the Chargers went home. If you remember when we started this show, I gave you the Raiders as a surprise to win the NFC West. What better way to get them off to a right start than as a win at the Chargers? So I'm taking 3.5 with the Raiders.
Toprope, what's he taking?
Well, they must be doing the same form, these two blokes. Yeah, Raiders plus 3.5. Very solid pick here for Toprope. He likes them. The dog in this matchup is 19-7 against the spread head-to-head, so solid stat here for the dog. He's also keen on points in this game. He likes the over 52 in the total. Good points here. The over matchup is 22-13 in week 1. So good stats here for the plus. Raiders at the line and over.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the over. So match 6. Now this is the one I've been waiting for. Green Bay at the Minnesota Vikings, Monday morning, 6:25 a.m. ESPN. The Minnesota Vikings are a +2, and the total is 47 points. So just quickly, Jerry, Aaron Rodgers has 13 touchdown passes with no picks in his last 4 games against the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, but he does not have Devontae Adams. I think Alan Lazard is a little banged up. I just feel that Green Bay will try to run the ball. I think they had pretty good success running against the Vikings. I know we think Aaron Rodgers, we think throwing it all over the place, but they have a very good success rate running against the Vikings. I think the Vikings will also be able to run the ball against the Packers. I know they have a new coach, and I know that Kirk Cousins, he is who he is. He's an average quarterback, depending on if he gets some time. I think this game will come off division foes. They're going to feel each other out. I just see a lot of running in this game, and I do see under the total. I don't like anything on the side. Gun to the head, I would think that the Vikings at home would be the winner, but I'm just going to go with the total. Let's just go under the total and pass the side.
Does Toprope agree with Jerry?
He's minus the gun to the head. He likes the Vikings here at the +2. Mid-range play for him. Minnesota are 21-7 against the spread as the home dog, so that's a key stat here for Toprope. So he doesn't have a play in the total, so we'll take the play in the line, and Jerry can have the play in the total.
So match of the week, match 7, Tampa Bay at Dallas Cowboys, Monday, 10:20 a.m., ESPN, big party at my house, tears by halftime. The Dallas Cowboys are a +2, and the total points is 50. So let's see how these two teams go with holes in the offensive line, and hopefully the Cowboys can get away with a win, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about this game is I want to say it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember, but they opened up with each other, and Tampa was like a 9-point favorite. I think it was last year. It might have been the opening game coming off their Super Bowl. 9-point favorite against the Cowboys, and now we fast forwarded, and they're only a 2.5-point chalk. I know that Dallas is probably going to win that NFC East, and we both think that Tampa will have a down year, but I think they win this game. I think -2.5 is the right side. I'm getting less than a field goal with the better team. I just gut feel that Tampa is the right side here.
That upsets me immensely, Jerry, but thank you anyway, mate. All right, what is Toprope saying? Cowboys win?
Toprope's got better news for you. He likes your Cowboys at the plus here. Mid-range play for him. He's, they got a very good record. They've won 7-0 against the spread as a dog at home, Dallas, in recent history, 13-3 with a longer history. So, yeah, the +2 at home. We've kind of said, I guess, in the futures play, we were all potting Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl, even the division as well. So, yeah, expecting your Cowboys to get off to a solid start. He's also got a play here on the over 50 on the total. Dallas are 13-6 at home under the dome. So, keen for some points in this game. As you said, there's a few holes on both offensive lines. So, if they can get the ball away, Dallas and the over.
Well, if you ask me, it should be 19-0. But anyway, who am I? What am I to know? Who am I to say? Okay, so the final game on our schedule is Denver Broncos at Seattle, formerly as it known as the Russell Wilson Cup. Tuesday, 10:15 a.m., ESPN. The Seattle Seahawks are a +6.5, and the total is 44.5. Jerry, for the final pick of the week, mate, how's it looking?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to make a lot of money laying a road favorite of this type, but it's more about the situation. I hate to do this, but I have to lay Denver minus the 6.5 on the road. I think Seattle's a mess. I touched on it earlier. I think Carroll is well past his prime. I think he's got a disaster over there. I think he's prehistoric with all the analytics and throwing the ball and going for it on fourth down. He's old school, punt it, run the ball, play defense, although he doesn't have a good defense and he doesn't have a good running game. So Russell Wilson has everything to play for here. Seattle's looking at a down year. I think Geno Smith is going to get the start. I think he beat out Drew Lock. Neither one of those guys are any good. The 12th man will be rocking Seattle at home, but I just think Denver's got too much. Again, like I said, I don't like to normally lay around a touchdown on the road, but there are special occasions, and this is one of them.
So MG, for the final time, Toprope, what's he thinking? Does he agree with Jerry?
No, they're locking horns on this one. Yeah, Toprope likes the plus. He's the home crowd factor. I know the lineups probably don't suggest it. Just quietly, I've seen better Monday Night Football lineups for week one. I think the NFL have had a scheduling breakdown here. Denver at Seattle. They could have chosen a better game. But anyway, Toprope likes, the plus 6.5. Unbelievable record Monday Night Football for week one. The Dogs are 27-12. So we're going to stick with the stats here. And not many points in this game. Hard to score. Maybe it might be raining hard in Seattle as well. Under 44.5 here. The under with Denver being favourites is 38-17 for the Toprope stats. So yeah, the plus and the under to finish. For
all your betting action, head to the Little Birdie shop. This year we're going to have two packages. Jerry's shoebox, Topropes to the house for $22 a week. Be sure to head there. Thank you for all your tips. They've been amazing, and hopefully I can send my kids to a private school by the end of the year. So each week our panel of three will be granted $100 to invest. Sponsored by topsport.com.au. TopSport is Australia's biggest betting bookie. Bet where the pros get set. We've all chosen a charity to represent for the year. Whoever has the most winners at the end of the year, their charity will receive all the money. Jerry, who have you got as your charity for this year?
All right, so I got the old Baker Mayfield revenge game. Carolina Panthers at home laying the 1.5. I got Baker against his old team, Cleveland Browns. It's so weird. He gets to get right out of the gates, week one. Not only is it his revenge game, but we also get a Cleveland Browns team without Deshaun Watson. Jacoby Brissett, he again, another guy who is who he is. He's just a guy. I watched him play for Miami last year when Tua was hurt. He's been a placeholder. He's never going to be anything other than an average or below average quarterback. I think the home crowd, I think Baker Mayfield, I think Carolina gets off to a 1-0 start, and I only got to lay 1.5 points. So pretty much win the game and I cover. So Carolina is my play for the charity.
Wonderful. MG, Toprope, who's he feeling? Where's the money going for the charity at the end of the year?
Yeah, just quickly for Jerry's charity, because he's kept it in Australia, which is very kind of him. So he's going to represent the Lost Dogs home here in Victoria, North Melbourne. So they will be cheering for his tips for the year. And if he wins, then all the money will go to the Lost Dogs home. For Toprope, he is going to represent the Ronald McDonald House this year. And he has sent me through the Houston team line +7.
So I'll be representing the Royal Children's Hospital. My tip this week is the Lions +4.5 over the Philadelphia Eagles. mainly for one reason. I despise the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's competition time, 3rd and long ankle breakers competition. MG, can you explain to us the competition?
Yeah, so same as last year, the way the competition went about, we're going to nominate a game each week, and on the Twitter, the fans will be able to go there and select the winning team and the margin. And what the prize will be this year, we're in conjunction with Ankle Breakers, and we are going to put up a signed memorabilia item of the winning Super Bowl team, whether that's a helmet or a jersey, we haven't decided yet. So for this week's match, for week 1, we are selecting the Monday game at 10:20, so we'll allow everybody up to get up and have their breakfast. It's going to be Tampa Bay v Dallas Cowboys, so we will post that on our Twitter, either at littlebirdie.com or 3rd and long, and the punters there can pick the team or the margin. So, for example, for this week, if you like the Dallas Cowboys, which we do, you can tip the Dallas Cowboys, say, by 3, and whoever lands on that margin will be the nominated winner for that week. And then every weekly winner will go into the end-of-season draw on Ankle Breakers, and we'll draw that out live Super Bowl week for the prize.
So that's a wrap for week 1 show. Hopefully I'll be back. You could probably smell the nerves coming through the microphone, but thank you, guys. Also, remember to hit the shop, littlebirdie.live, to subscribe to the tip packages from either Jerry or Toprope. Follow us on YouTube or find us in the Apple Store, on Spotify, on SoundCloud. I'm old, I don't know what that is, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow Little Birdie TV on Instagram or Twitter, and you can also follow us on 3rd and Long TV as well. Remember, for all your NFL action, you can find all the odds on topsport.com.au. Invest wisely, punters. Enjoy week 1. And MG, thank you for filling in for the hardest working man here at the Little Birdie crew, Toprope. We'll see you soon. Thank you.